When I woke up this lazy Halloween morning, I knew I had to replay a childhood classic. This is a review of Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. A lot of people give this game a bad rap, and even more people have never played this game, and that just really surprises me. The people that have played this game probably only played the first few levels and decided the game is too easy. It's a kid's game, and I could see where they would think it's a kid's game, but believe me, it gets exponentially harder. There's a lot of trial and error involved, and even though there are only 5 levels technically, the game will take you a long time. If you have never played it before, or are kind of a novice to it and only played it a few times, or if you don't use save states if you're playing on an emulator, not in an actual cartridge. The game starts with Mickey and Minnie having hot, passionate sex, which of course happens through hand-holding in the mouse species. This evil witch that's jealous of Minnie's beauty kidnaps Minnie, and Mickey Mouse has to go save her. That's really the gist of the story. It's your prototypical Mario kind of story. You don't really need a long story for this. I mean, it's a platformer. It's not a graphical novel. The story continues with Wilford Brimley telling Mickey how to save Minnie, and then Mickey Mouse just kinda listens to him, and then he murders some Civil War reenactors right in front of the old man. What the hell, Mickey? The game basically takes place in this one castle, and every room in the castle is a level. And of course, every level is divided up into like mini little zones and levels. So technically, even though there are only about 5 levels, there are really like 15-ish actual different zones. The first part of level 1 is Mickey going through this kinda dark yet green forest, and it's a beautiful level, but it is very easy, and I could see how people could misconstrue the game thinking this is a Disney game and this level is incredibly easy, the whole game is gonna be easy, and that's just not it. This is an easy level, but you gotta think of this as more of a tutorial than a level. This is just you getting accustomed to the controls and the different attacks of Mickey, which is basically his butt stomp and him throwing projectiles like apples and other things. The next part of level 1 is also pretty easy. It's a place with spiders and moving leaf platforms. This is a really short place, so you shouldn't have a problem with this, even though the spiders can be kind of tricky to avoid. The next part of level 1, we see Mickey back in the woods, but now it's like a haunted wood place with ghosts, which are basically platforms that you could just bounce off of and get to a high altitude and then just kind of get through the rest of the level, not having to worry about all the baddies on the ground. Although you technically don't need to throw projectiles in this game, you can pass the entire game without throwing anything. You will need to do it once in a while just because of narrow corridors like this where Mickey can't butt stomp enemies because there's just no room to jump. But still, these enemies could easily be avoided. After the haunted woods, Mickey runs into the first boss of the game. He's pretty easy, just dodge him rolling on the ground, avoid the things falling from the tree, and after you finish him off, you'll get the first crystal. You need to collect all the crystals in the game because you're gonna use them to get to the witch at the end of the game, and you'll see how that happens. In level 2, the exit will be right at the beginning of the game, but you can't actually use it until you climb all the way to the top of the level and get the door open. Next part of level 2 has these things that turn the world upside down and just kill everything on the screen. Yeah, good job committing a mass genocide there, Mickey. After this crazy funhouse level, we have the boss of the game. This is a kind of easy boss, and just get his pattern down and you should destroy him with complete ease. In level 3 is where the game finally starts gaining momentum and difficulty. It's not entirely hard, but it is a little tricky. Especially, it's a little bit of a maze, and sometimes you'll fall into the wrong hole. There are also these bats and fish jumping out of the water, and they can screw you up. They don't move too fast, but you know, there's a lot of them, and if you get the timing right, this shouldn't be a problem for most people. This level also looks great, especially the background. Look at just those red, orange clouds there. That looks great. Alright, I died once in this level already, and I gotta be careful. Ah, crap. Now, how do I get out of this hole? Oh, you know what? This is the hole that... Look at this. It's the magic, like, hole that gets you to the end of the level. It's like... you get rewarded for being a klutz who accidentally falls into a hole. Perfect. Next zone in level 3 are these like Mayan ruins, and they're not terribly difficult, but there is a lot of trial and error involved. Sometimes you just get stuck and you don't know where to go, and you end up jumping to your death. Alright, I'm stuck. Time for a leap of faith. Here goes everything. Aw, damn it. Fucking Mayans. They could predict when the world ends, but they couldn't build a normal staircase. After you time yourself and avoid this flowing river that takes away a little life and pushes you back, you move on to the next part of level 3. This next part of level 3 is the boss, and this is really the first really hard part of the game. The timing is really hard to get down on this thing because sometimes it jumps for 3 jumps and sometimes it jumps for 2 jumps before doing its attack. This is not a fun boss, and you will die a lot, even if you've played this before. If you die enough times in this boss fight to have to go to the continue screen, you're gonna restart the whole game without any projectiles. And in this boss fight, having no projectiles makes the boss fight so much harder. So it's an already pretty hard boss fight, really the first really hard thing in the game, becoming almost impossible. Without the save states in my emulator, I don't think I would have been able to pass this, and I think I would have to replay this game quite a few times to actually pass this boss. And yes, I am playing on normal and not practice. I just can't even imagine how hard this boss would be on hard. I don't even want to think about it. So for all those naysayers who thought this was a kid's game, I present to you these goddamn frogs, okay? After beating that boss, and for God's sake, for the sake of your sanity, do it with save states, you are thrown into the 4th level. And right away, you just get raped by the first enemies in the level. I have no idea the game would get this hard. The truth is, it doesn't get this hard. This level gets this hard, especially these letter A's, which are insane enemies. They just jump all over you and swarm all over you. And, you know, Mickey Mouse isn't exactly the Flash, so it's really hard to avoid them. The next part of this level is Mickey Mouse in a kind of desert area. You'll see this quite a few times. Whenever you go into a milk bottle, in the actual main area of the level, you're going to be thrown into this kind of mini level of the area. But yeah, make no mistake, you can die in these mini levels. And there's also another mini level in the main level of this level 4. When you jump into these cups, you go into a tea or a coffee mini level. This level is just designed for picking up extra points, but you can still die here, and points are not worth your life. So avoid these cups. After the tedious hell that is level 4, mainly tedious because of the stupid letter A's that are just assassins, crazy assassins that will destroy you. You have to fight this boss creature, and this is like probably the easiest boss in the game. All you have to do is stand in the middle here, and just whenever he goes at you and then freezes for a second, butt stomp him in the face. It's the easiest boss in the game, and it's the easiest boss in the game who is part of the hardest level in the game, arguably. Strange combination. We move on to the next level, level 5, and the atmosphere here reminds me a lot of the lava level, which was the second level in the original Sonic. There's no lava here, but just the tiles and the atmosphere. I think the entire atmosphere of the whole game has a kind of Gothic feel to it, so I think it's kind of it kind of fits that I'm reviewing, you know, this game on Halloween, because there are definitely elements of kind of Gothic nature in every level. I mean, even the last level. In this level, the enemies are easy, but the enemies are not your enemies. The enemies in this level are all the obstacles. There's things in the background hitting you, there's things falling from the roof, and there's really no real way to time how to avoid them. I'm sure there is if you really, you know, pay attention, but I'm not a boy who pays attention. I want to get through things, and I want to get through things fast, so I died a lot in level 5. Oh yeah, absolutely. Just replace like the purple wizard semen or something with lava, and this is totally the second level of the original Sonic the Hedgehog for the Genesis. After finishing the deadly obstacle-filled first part of level 5, you move on to the next part of level 5, which is a water zone. And it once again reminds me of the water zone in Sonic the Hedgehog for the Genesis. Strange. I don't know which game ripped off which, but it's strange that the games are so similar. At least a few levels. Next part of level 5 is some kind of machine area. Maybe like it's a clock tower. And the platforms here get hard. The platforms are spinning in various directions. There's bats flying from all sorts of directions. And even though the bats aren't entirely very fast, you gotta remember that Mickey Mouse himself isn't very fast. So expect to die a lot in this particular part of the game. Especially if you've never played the game before. But I've played it a lot as a kid, and I still died quite a few times. Just the timing and all the enemies flying at you. This is a pretty challenging level. But it's not tedious. It's challenging in all the right ways. Like unstrapping the back of a woman's bra. The boss of this level can be pretty hard if you don't know what you're doing. He blocks every attack. The way to beat him is wait for him to swing at you. And right as he swings, you can jump right on top of him and basically destroy him. This guy takes quite a few hits to kill, but once you get his pattern down, he's a piece of cake, more or less. After this boss is the last fight. Mickey Mouse makes a rainbow with all the crystals he collected. He gets across to fight the witch and save his girlfriend. The witch boss fight is challenging but not hard. You time yourself just right to escape her projectiles. You jump on her head when you see a good opening. It takes a few hits, but at the end of the day, you'll finish her off. It might take a few lives, but hey, what the hell? He actually kills her by throwing that thing up in the air? Why didn't he do that before? Why did he have to fight her for like 30 minutes? Well, Mickey is saved. Or wait, Minnie's saved. I can't tell. They look like identical twins. Is Mickey Mouse banging his sister? That's not right. Anyway, it's a happy ending now because I guess the witch turns nice and she saves Mickey and Minnie and she flies them off on a magical carpet ride. And it's a whole new world. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends, and enjoy this game. It's an unknown classic, but I'm sure you'll love it, especially after watching this.